Here are some common issues you may encounter with Nagios and how to troubleshoot them. Configuration errors. Nagios relies on configuration files to define hosts, services, and checks. If you make a mistake in your configuration files, Nagios may fail to start or not display the expected results. To troubleshoot configuration errors, you can use the V option when starting Nagios to check the configuration syntax. If there are errors, Nagios will report them and indicate the line number where the error occurred. Connectivity issues. Nagios uses plugins to perform checks on hosts and services. If there are connectivity issues between Nagios and the host being monitored, the checks may fail. To troubleshoot connectivity issues, you can use the check_ping plugin to test connectivity and the check_nrp plugin to test connectivity to the NRP daemon on remote hosts. Performance issues. Nagios can consume significant resources when monitoring large environments. If you experience performance issues, you may need to optimize your Nagios configuration or upgrade your hardware. To troubleshoot performance issues, you can use tools like Top or HTOP to monitor CPU and memory usage on your Nagios server. Alerting issues. Nagios sends alerts when a host or service check fails. If you're not receiving alerts, you may need to check your Nagios configuration or the settings of your alerting method. To troubleshoot alerting issues, you can use the Notify Host by Email or Notify Service by Email command to send test alerts and check that they are received. Version compatibility. If you upgrade Nagios or any of its plugins, you may encounter compatibility issues. To troubleshoot version compatibility issues, you can check the documentation for your version of Nagios and its plugins to ensure that they are compatible. Permission issues. Nagios runs as a non-root user by default, so you may encounter permission issues if it doesn't have permission to access certain files or directories. To troubleshoot permission issues, you can use the ls command to check the permissions of the file or directory in question and adjust them as necessary. Disk space issues. Nagios can consume significant disk space, particularly if you're storing historical data. If you run out of disk space, Nagios may fail or stop collecting data. To troubleshoot disk space issues, you can use the df command to check the available disk space and delete any unnecessary data or increase the size of the partition. Plugin issues. Nagios relies on plugins to perform checks on hosts and services. If you're encountering issues with a plugin, you can use the Plugins V option to check its syntax or the check_plugin command to test it manually. You can also check the Nagios logs for any error messages related to the plugin. Network latency issues. If you're monitoring remote hosts over a network, Nagios may experience network latency issues. To troubleshoot network latency issues, you can use the check_ping plugin to test the latency and packet loss between Nagios and the remote host. You can also adjust the timeout and max_check_attempts parameters in your Nagios configuration to accommodate network latency. SSL/TLS issues. If you're using SSL/TLS to secure Nagios or its plugins, you may encounter issues related to certificates or encryption. To troubleshoot SSL/TLS issues, you can use tools like Opens to test the SSL/TLS connection or check the Nagios logs for any SSL/TLS related error messages. These are just a few examples of common Nagios issues and how to troubleshoot them. If you encounter other issues, you can consult the Nagios documentation or seek help from the Nagios community.